no, it was the biggest blessing ever. But when you're young, and like I was saying, you want to be Zach, not the wimpy kid.
And right after that, we get into high school. For people that want to know, Zach had, in my opinion, a normal high school life. Yes, he was homeschooled, but he went to a school called Opus, which is part of the Oak Park School District. And I mean, I went to another high school, or two other friends in the group went to the same kind of high school as Zach. And you had a normal childhood for high school. And when we graduated high school, we all went to college. And let's get into the college stage, because college is the biggest, question mark for a lot of actors. And you went to University of Chapman in Orange County, and you were also had a couple of humongous parts going in, and you had a big question in your head, and you told me multiple times, do I want to do college like everyone else, or am I wasting my time? And should I go to acting school and work on my acting and be the best in the world? Because your goal was to be the greatest actor in the next 10-year generation. So take me through that decision in college and what you did, and the kind of a different track what most people do.
Yeah, one thing I want to touch on before college is you had talked about having a normal high school experience. I think in a lot of ways, and we've talked about this briefly, I think that because of the wimpy kid experience, a lot of people looked at me differently. I think in some ways people treated me wonderfully, and others not so wonderfully. And I think I stood out sometimes, and I just wanted to blend in and fit in. And before I had really, found friends like you and some of our other friends in our group, I struggled a lot. And I think that especially at an age where all you want to do is just fit in. And, I have no bad blood towards anyone. Like I was saying, I just think we were all so young, and and you don't realize that a lot of the things, you take out on others or other people take out on you aren't really coming from you. It's more of your surroundings. And I think, the things I dealt with, the things, everyone sort of deals with during that interesting transition in life where you're just trying to find yourself. It's tough. And I think it was a very lonely time. And even going into college, I felt very alone. And it wasn't that I had people around me. Obviously, we were friends. I think we really became much closer after college. But I think, during that period, it was tough because, like I said, I had to sacrifice a lot for Wimpy Kid. And I felt like when I came back to sort of be a kid, people didn't treat me like a normal kid. Like I was saying, people hated me without even knowing me, and people liked me without even knowing me. And it was tough. It was like I wanted to crawl into a shell. And obviously looking back on it now, it's easy for me to say that. But when you're young, you don't know how to navigate your way through it. And it was hard, man. I mean, obviously, in a lot of ways, I was bullied by being the wimpy kid, and instead of embracing it like I should have, I took it offensively, and I didn't find perspective in those situations. That, like, would I ever take it back? No, it was the biggest blessing ever. But when you're young, and like I was saying, you want to be Zach, not the wimpy kid, and I just couldn't see it. So it was tough. And even going to college, like, yeah, I'd worked, and I was lucky enough to keep getting jobs. I did a show called Dead of Summer, and I'd done a few other awesome spots on a show called Last Man Standing. I did a couple of other movies, and things were good. But I think inside I didn't know if acting really was what I wanted to do, because, yeah, I wanted to fit in and I wanted to be normal and have normal friends. But it came from a place of insecurity, not so much confidence in really what I wanted to do and who I was, which I think comes later in life. Sadly, but in a lot of ways, sometimes it's for the better. So that being said, I went to college, and I think, again, the thing that I didn't find in high school was that normal experience, normal grounded friends, and obviously come a lot from, like I was saying, from your own opinions about yourself and how you think people perceive you, which is all in your head. So as I went to college, same thing happened. I wanted to blend in, but I felt like I didn't. And that's just, like I was saying, a sacrifice that I made as a kid. And it's not something I resent. It's just, I wasn't wise enough, and I wasn't confident enough to say, this is the choice you made, whether you realized it or not. And you have to accept that. And I think as I've gotten older, I found perspective. And instead of resenting Wimpy Kid or resenting people for treating me differently, looking at the positives and going, okay, yeah, I mean, I have problems. We all have problems, but, like, I wouldn't take it back for a second, like I said. So going to college, I realized that, okay, instead of shying away from everything that, like, has, given me so many blessings in my life that I just couldn't see, I think it's time for me to take a step back and realize that, okay, I've always wanted to know what I want to do with my life. So if I'm not going to college to really take in my craft, because I went to school for directing, but I wanted to be an actor, oddly enough. So I think I decided that the best situation for me would be to leave and really get down and dirty in acting. So I started studying the Meisner technique. I did a program for a little over 2 years, and it was like 2 to 4 times a week. I mean, I went hard. I think I just put all that energy and all that emotion of all my insecurities, all the things all the questions I never had answers to. All my heartbreaks, all my failures, all my triumphs, I just put it into my craft and went, okay, you know what? If this is really what I want to do, and I got to put my head down and just grind and work and show the craft the respect that it deserves. So that's what I did. And greatest decision I ever made. Nothing against college. Chapman is an incredible university. It's incredible. And I think college can really be amazing for a lot of people. The experience, depending on what your major is as well, obviously figuring out what you want to do in life, it's a great place. For me, I already knew what I wanted to do. And I think the issue was I kept trying to dim my light rather than embrace really who I was. And I was hanging around the wrong people who influenced me in ways that I just, looking back, obviously, you just realize that you are who you surround yourself with. So I just had to get away from certain people that maybe made me feel like I couldn't just be myself. So, and like I said, nothing against those people. I mean, we're all young, and like I was saying, my insecurities came from, things that I'd been through, and everyone else the same. We all deal with stuff. So you just have to keep moving forward and learn who you are and trust your dreams. So I think having that dream and figuring out, I'm going to go for this and no one's going to stop me if this is what I want in my life.